Who are the richest in the world, and how much money do they really have? Let's find out. We're now living in an insane moment where fortunes rise and fall at the speed of a tweet. AI technology is creating the newest tech billionaires overnight. So we're ranking from the top 10 richest people in the world today to the top 5, all the way to the world's richest person. Get ready for what's coming. You'll get to see some of the hidden stories behind their massive wealth and the extraordinary billionaire lifestyle everyone's talking about. According to verified public sources like the Forbes Billionaire Rankings and Bloomberg Billionaires Index, these top 10 richest people in the world's wealth totals at almost $2 trillion. So we're about to break down this massive $2 trillion fortune, revealing exactly how the world's wealthiest people are able to build such massive wealth. And finally, we'll uncover the most important success lessons from the world's richest people. Here on Genie Luxe, you get to experience the world's luxury at the top, so you get the best of the best. Hit like and subscribe if you haven't already to get the best experience ever. Starting out from the top 10, Warren Buffett's impressive $145 billion fortune puts him at the 10th place of the world's billionaires ranking. Wait until you see how much more impressive their wealth gets. While the new tech billionaires are emerging, Warren Buffett's same investment strategies have been making him richer for over 50 years now.
I've been teaching since I was 21. I taught my first class on investments, and I had a class last week with 11 schools, 220 students, and some of them get it and some of them don't. People would rather gamble.
The billionaire investor started playing in the stock markets as young as about age 11, while most of his mates were still playing with their toys. And now, he's the most successful investor in the world. Buffett's $145 billion fortune come from his company, Berkshire Hathaway, owning stocks in our everyday brands, from Apple's iPhone to your Coke, yes, Coca-Cola, even that Amex card, American Express. He owns part of the companies, and he fully owns Geico, Duracell, and a couple other businesses. You will think the billionaire investor is out here living the dream, right? Not exactly the lifestyle of the world's richest investor you would imagine. Buffett's lifestyle is pretty regular, no fancy private islands or gold-plated anything. He still lives in the same house he bought about 50 years ago, starts his days with a good old McDonald's breakfast, enjoys some Coca-Cola daily, which he owns part of the company by the way, and spends most of his time reading. Buffett even plays online bridge with his billionaire friend Bill Gates. Just so you know, he's coming up on our list soon. Buffett has promised to give away 99% of his wealth, already giving away a good part of his fortune to charity through the Gates Foundation and his own foundation. While his wealth keeps increasing year over year, he's slowly moved down the wealthiest people's list because of the tech billionaires taking over the ranks.
And especially candy.
When I was 6, we're talking 1936 now, I got a nickel a week allowance. And we would go up to Ernie's drugstore. There they would have penny candy. So the nickel would entitle me to 5 choices. And I could spend an hour making those choices.
While Buffett is out here living like a regular guy, just wait till you see how some of these tech billionaires are living their billionaire lives. Let's see who's next on the wealth rank. Coming in at number 9 is former Microsoft CEO, Steve Ballmer. Yeah, he's actually $5 billion richer than the billionaire investor. He's one of the tech billionaires in the club. But Ballmer's basically what happens when you give a hype beast unlimited money. The tech billionaire went viral jumping around stage screaming, "Developers," like he was at a rock concert.
Developers, 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 developers. Yes!
That crazy energy has turned into hundreds of billions of dollars. We're talking a good $150 billion. He made most of his money at Microsoft. He is the first Microsoft CEO who turned boring tech presentations into amazing performances, sweating through his shirts, hyping up Windows like your favorite tech influencer, unboxing the latest iPhone. This man is definitely proof that even the loudest person in the room can also be the richest. While at Microsoft, he made record-breaking amounts of money for the company and some of the best decisions that shaped Microsoft's success. While everyone was talking about him missing out on producing smartphones, turns out betting big on cloud computing wasn't a bad idea after all. His bold business decisions are now printing money faster than a PowerPoint can crash. You might be wondering how this energetic tech billionaire spends his massive fortune? Well, Ballmer bought the LA Clippers NBA team for a casual $2 billion and brings that same energy to his matches, making other team owners look like they're watching intense chess matches. Steve stands out as one of the most entertaining billionaires on the list. Now that you've met the billionaire managing the company, let's meet the mastermind behind Microsoft, Bill Gates. Here's the man who started Microsoft with one crazy idea: putting a computer on everyone's desk. This was when most people didn't even know what a computer was. He has now turned from tech billionaire to global philanthropist, and Gates' current net worth exceeds $158 billion, making him the 8th richest person in the world. Bill Gates has actually been at the top of the billionaires list for quite a long time. First became the world's richest person in 1995 and held the title for over 20 years until 2017. And he's still one of the richest in the world today. He spends most of his wealth on the Gates Foundation, taking on global issues like climate change and malaria, especially in Africa. He's turned his billionaire status into becoming the world's most influential problem solver and is running his foundation like a startup, using data and innovation to solve the world's problems. At 7th place, meet Sergey Brin, the genius who helped make Google the success it is today. He started the company with his college friend, who, by the way, is coming up next on this billionaires list. And with the success of the company, he's been able to accumulate a massive fortune of $160 billion for himself. While the tech billionaire was actually born in Russia and moved to the US at about age 6 with his family, young Sergey was already really interested in computer programming and solving math problems, building up the skills that helped him create what would become the world's most powerful search engine. While some other tech billionaires are living their dream life, Brin has been spotted riding the subway like a normal guy, doing some crazy advanced acrobatic workouts, and showing up to tech events wearing the Google Glass and Crocs. Though he is well known for solving complex algorithms, he also once went viral for this ice bucket challenge.
All right. Well,
Isn't that the true meaning of thinking outside the box? Sergey still spends most of his time working on Google's big projects, using that mathematical mind of his to solve some of the world's biggest problems. Moving up to number 6, let's meet the other half of Google's founding team, Larry Page. This man right here turned his college homework at Stanford into the company that became everyone's second brain with his co-founder, Sergey Brin. What started out as a PhD project has now become a $170 billion net worth. These two tech billionaires built Google on one single idea, making the world's information one click away. With that, Google has completely transformed how people get information. What's even crazier is that Larry's wealth could buy every single book in the Library of Congress 1,000 times over. Yet his success isn't measured in how much money he has, but how much time his company saves for people. Think about it. How many times did you Google something today? Oh, did you search on YouTube? That's also part of Google. Google has become so big that the name is now a word most people use daily. Only a few big brands ever become actual words like Xerox, Kleenex, and now Google has joined too. While other billionaires are busy posting on Instagram and tweeting, Larry has mastered being everywhere with Google's products in people's pockets while being nowhere in his public life. It's like he's running the world's biggest tech company on silence mode. By the way, if you're enjoying this billionaires list, don't be on silence mode. Hit like below and also tell us which luxury list you want to see next on Genie Luxe. Now we're getting to the top 5. 5th on the world's billionaires rank, the French businessman and fashion's greatest icon, Bernard Arnault, turning luxury into a $180 billion fortune. He's the mastermind behind the LVMH empire. While other tech billionaires are building apps, he's proof that selling people the dream can be more profitable than selling people's data. If you think collecting exotic cars is expensive, wait until you find out that our LVMH CEO is collecting entire luxury brands. His collection of prestigious luxury brand houses is more than most people's shoe collection. We're talking Louis Vuitton, Dior, Tiffany & Co., and about 70 more of the luxury houses on the billionaires list. Bernard is literally building his luxury empire. It's like he's found the secret recipe for turning champagne into gold. Considering he owns Moet and Chandon, that's not far from the truth. He's selling the present moment of luxury and people are paying premium. And he's the CEO of limited edition only. You may not believe this, but sometimes the the luxury CEO rides the metro to work, visits LVMH stores incognito to check on the customer service, and tests the new employees by asking them to switch off the lights when leaving the rooms. Imagine being the one at the store who didn't realize it's the luxury billionaire founder asking about the handbags and shoes of the season. Oof! Bernard Arnault's main focus is on luxury and craftsmanship. Here's his strategy. In our business, we say that while technology is important, tradition and creativity are even more important.
Internet is more and more important. And what is key also is the fact that now, more and more, the customer, first, when they want a product, they go immediately on their computer, on their telephone, and they check the product. So the way a brand is presented to the world is extremely influenced by the internet.
This is coming from the founder of the biggest company in Europe. It's worth taking some notes. Fourth on the world's billionaires list, meet the tech industry's main character, Larry Ellison. Larry's life story. Briefly, he went from a college dropout who didn't know anything about starting a database company to now successfully building a database company and amassing a huge fortune of over $200 billion. More proof that where your life starts doesn't matter. What matters is how well you can write the ending. Just a reminder from the other episode. Another major part of Ellison's success is how he transformed Oracle from a regular database company into a cloud computing giant. While everyone thought Amazon's AWS and Microsoft Azure had already won the cloud market, he was still able to get his own share of the market and make lots of money from it. Ellison's business might sound boring to those outside of tech. Let's drop the tech talk and get into the billionaire's lifestyle. This is the fun part most of you have been waiting for. Larry owns almost an entire Hawaiian island, has more exotic cars than the apps on your phone, and his yacht? Massive like a city floating on water. While other tech CEOs play it safe with big PR teams, Ellison keeps it real, with mic drop moments during calls where he casually roasts his competitors.
Well, get me the name of their pharmacist. I guess we missed it and IBM missed it, and it's great that Hasso and his 5 guys got it. Again, it's just so absurd that it's very hard for me to comment with a straight face.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about?
They should just keep to accounting.
He's like that one guy who always says what everyone thinks but is afraid to say. Only thing is, he's really rich. Like he's literally one of the richest people in the world. 4th richest, actually. But there's something about Larry Ellison's billion-dollar success. He's able to stay relevant and is only getting bigger in an industry that changes really fast, while most of his competitors have stepped back. Ellison has kept pushing Oracle into new territories, now building AI that makes databases literally run on autopilot. Now, we're getting into the top 3. Remember when Zuckerberg started Facebook and it was just about college friends sharing cool pictures? Fast forward to what it is today, Meta, making Mark Zuckerberg 3rd richest person in the world, with over $210 billion tied to his name. But let's first talk about the Facebook rebrand to Meta.
It is time for us to adopt a new company brand to encompass everything that we do, to reflect who we are and what we hope to build. I am proud to announce that starting today, our company is now Meta. Our mission remains the same. It's still about bringing people together.
This was possibly the boldest corporate makeover since Kentucky Fried Chicken became KFC. While everyone was arguing online if Instagram or TikTok would win the social media race, Mark was quietly building a new digital world. The guy who famously wore the same shirt every day to avoid making too many decisions is now arguably the most influential man building our digital future. Mark's all-in bet on the metaverse, which at the start had critics all over the internet and meme makers working overtime, turns out, is starting to pay off quite remarkably, with Meta's Reality Labs turning virtual reality from a gaming look into the mainstream platform where millions of people work, have fun, and yeah, some scroll their social media feeds in full 3D. Watching Mark level up from a robot-like CEO, with those Congress memes still living rent-free in our heads, and now completely transformed into a charismatic metaverse advocate, posting MMA training videos and surfing reels on Instagram, is quite refreshing actually. What's ironic about Mark's $200 billion success is that The same qualities that made people criticize him, turns out, are his greatest strengths. He has a relentless focus on the future and is willing to ignore present noise and critics. While his competitors were optimizing for the present, Mark was building a future people couldn't even imagine. Guess the lesson here is to put on the same shirt every single day and make only the most important decisions for the future. Okay, let's be serious for a moment. Here is what Mark has to say.
In a world that's changing so quickly, the biggest risk you can take is not taking any risk.
The biggest risks aren't the ones you take, but the opportunities you miss by trying to play it safe. And even if you get criticized like some of these billionaires, just let the haters hate while you build your own billion-dollar success. Sure, you already knew at the start you would see the e-commerce billionaire, just didn't know if he was first or second. Turns out, he's actually second richest in the world this year. He first took the title of richest person in the world from Bill Gates in 2017, and now someone else has taken it away from him. Hold up to see who's richest person in the world and how his wealth is taking over everyone. Let's first talk about the man who started out selling books online from his garage and turned it into a $240 billion success for himself. If anyone tells you that you can't start a billion-dollar business in your garage, remind them about Jeff Bezos, Amazon beginnings. Do you still remember when two-day delivery seemed so fast? Now, thanks to Jeff's customer obsession, most of us get mad if our drone-delivered packages take more than 2 hours 1 minute to get to us. And there's more. Amazon is expanding far beyond e-commerce, from AWS powering about half the internet, to streaming on Prime Video going against Netflix, to robots now becoming regular warehouse employees at the company. And you think Jeff Bezos only masters business? No. He's a master of making the extraordinary seem ordinary. One more thing. While everyone was focused on Amazon Prime deliveries, Jeff Bezos jumped into space travel with his company Blue Origin, going against Elon Musk's space travel company.
Well, this is the first step. This is a tiny little step of what Blue Origin is going to do. And what we're really trying to do is build reusable space vehicles. It's the only way to build a road to space.
His vision for Blue Origin is to create a future where millions of people can live and work in space. Talk about thinking big? No. Think bigger than the world. Think as big as the planets can go. Now we get to the richest man in the world. If you didn't already guess it, we hinted his name before. Elon Musk, the richest in the world right now. Elon Musk's wealth recently skyrocketed like his rockets, putting his net worth at almost $500 billion. At this pace, Musk is surely going to be the first to ever cross $1 trillion personal net worth. Well, we'll have to wait for the next Genie Luxe billionaires list to find out. So subscribe and click on the bell notification to get our next billionaire rankings. When you are richer than multiple countries, you may think it's time to sit back at the beach with a cocktail and relax. But Elon, with his massive $440 billion fortune, it's just another day at one of his companies, maybe planning humanity's landing on Mars. Or recently, spending some time at the White House with his billionaire friend, you know who. Or at Tesla, revolutionizing the automobile industry with his electric vehicles for more sustainable energy here on Earth. If you still remember when Elon started Tesla, people would criticize his electric car plans as a dream. Well, Tesla's success has turned the critics into shareholders. And those Cybertruck window-breaking memes, he's made the cars even better than they were before. And Tesla is just one of Elon's companies. He also runs SpaceX and some other companies. This is more proof that the space race is more than just a hobby for these billionaires. When he just started SpaceX, the haters were ready to bet their houses against the company's success. Now it looks like it's humanity's best shot at becoming a multi-planetary species and traveling through space. With Starlink providing high-speed internet to the most remote places in the world, where even Google Maps can't find. Elon Musk's business empire is quite literally reaching for the stars. His story sounds more like Iron Man meets Wolf of Wall Street. You know what's actually the craziest part? This man, richer than everyone in the world, same person building our future here on Earth, all the way to Mars. Wait for it. Still finds time to post tweets on Twitter. Oh, X. Posting some of the most ridiculous memes and hot takes like he's not the one worth $500 billion. By the way, he owns the social media company after all. But why did he have to change the name to X over 3 years later and everyone's still calling it Twitter? Guess that's what happens when you have hundreds of billions. Renaming things to X. Let's put that aside for next time. Honestly, love him or raise your eyebrows at the world's richest man, you can't deny he's pushing the limits of what's possible. In many industries, all at once. Not only with electric vehicles, there's space travel and satellite internet. There must be something we can learn from his success. So, what's the takeaway from the richest man in the world? Success isn't just about having the billions in the bank. It's about having the guts to attempt the impossible. And here is what he said about solving problems that could seem impossible.
I think it's also important to reason from first principles rather than by analogy. Somebody could say that battery packs are really expensive and that's just the way they'll always be, because that's the way they've been in the past. So first principles would be to say, okay, what are the material constituents of the batteries? You just need to think of clever ways to take those materials and combine them into the shape of a battery cell, and you can have batteries that are much, much cheaper than anyone realizes.
From making electric vehicles cool, landing rockets vertically, and all these things these billionaires are making that would seem impossible at the start. If you're still here, there's a bonus for you. We're just about to drop 3 more mind-blowing facts about the richest man in the world. Did you know Tesla's AI team is so advanced, they had to build their own supercomputer? And that's exactly what they did. And if you didn't know, Elon's companies actually employ more rocket scientists than NASA. Maybe that's why SpaceX Starship is the biggest rocket ever built, even taller than the Statue of Liberty. We just dropped 2 more here. Rewind if you didn't catch them. Best for last. This might be the one that blows your mind the most. Have you heard of Neuralink? Elon's company that produces this small devices similar to tiny chips, but can be implanted into the brain. The Neuralink chip recently got its first trial on an actual person. If we didn't get you to like and share this episode, now it's time to do just that. And if you've been with us from the start, tell us the industry making the most billionaires this year. This one is a question for the future billionaires that have been with us to this point. Also, what can you add to this year's top billionaires ranking? And lastly, do you think you too will enter the billionaires list? Let us know by typing billionaires list in the comments. Let's see the future top billionaires. If you're serious about entering the billionaires list soon, join the Genie community and gain access to our most exclusive content and products. There's a special gift still waiting for you. Get it right now from the links below in the description. Don't forget to like and share Genie Luxe to keep getting the best experience ever. We already made one of the best episodes on money-making quotes from the richest people in the world. Remember, every billionaire on this list started with $1, and every revolution starts with a single idea. So head over to Genie Finance to enjoy the full experience. Until next time, have the best time of your life, exploring the world's luxury at the top.